Hey folks, Joey Case here, your Top Care coordinator. This week's Top Care tip of the week. This week, as we get closer to the end of the semester, I want to talk about how we finish. And I think as an example, look back at this past weekend's Masters and what Dustin Johnson did over these 4 days. And as he was being interviewed after the tournament, there were some quotes that came out that I think are just absolutely fantastic. He said, for example, that I was nervous all day and that I tried not to watch the leaderboard. And I think a lesson that we can take from those quotes is that negative thoughts and negative emotions are going to happen. On any given daily basis, the average person is going to have somewhere between 60 to 80,000 thoughts. And some of those may actually be negative. And I think that it starts with just accepting and acknowledging that some of these thoughts, that they may be there. And I think where we go in terms of a performance piece of this is that we accept that these thoughts are there and that we start diffusing and taking some of the emotion out of these thoughts. You know, if we're going to have 80,000 thoughts today, why am I going to let this one negative thought or this negative feeling of anxiety just ruin my entire day? You know, and I think a lot of times there's this misconception in sports psychology that to perform at your best, you've got to be thinking nothing but positive thoughts and positive affirmations and feel wonderful. And I think in some cases that could not be further from the truth. You know, it's that old game. If I tell you not to think about something, you're going to keep thinking about it. So if I tell you not to think about the negative you're having, you're just going to keep thinking about those negative thoughts more and more as we go. So I think we start with just even admitting and accepting that, hey, I'm having some negative thoughts today. I'm thinking that I suck, or I'm really worried about the leaderboard, or I'm feeling anxious about this performance. And as we're accepting that these thoughts are there, we start focusing on behaviors you can control. It's okay to have negative thoughts and negative feelings. It's what we do with those thoughts that I think truly matter. So for homework, what I would like you to do this week is again to start taking note of your thoughts. Pretend your thoughts are a podcast or a radio show, whatever you want to, however you want to think about it, and just start tuning into your thoughts. I don't want you to worry about changing them or ignoring the negative thoughts or telling yourself you don't feel anxious even though you do feel anxious, whatever that might look like. Just take note of the thoughts. And I want us to get to a point where we can start learning to perform alongside these thoughts. It's okay to have a negative thought. It's okay to worry about your performance. We just need to worry about not letting that ruin your performance or ruin what you're trying to do. You know, it's what we do with those thoughts that matter. And that ultimately we find a way to finish in spite of some of the negative thoughts that might be there, or in spite of some of the negative emotions, or then we ultimately get to a place where we can use these negative experiences and use them as fuel to keep pushing towards your goals and your values. That's my tip for this week. Give Top Care a follow on social media. We're on Instagram and Twitter at WKU_TopCare. You can also follow me on Twitter at Professor_Joseph Case. This is Joey Case. Go Tops.